To all who come, welcome. Disney is a time machine that takes us back, connects us together, and shows us that not even wishing upon a star ever gets old. Now come sit with your friends Jonelle, Sean, and Megan as we deep dive into the heart of Disney.
Welcome to Friends of Disney,
where everything is neat.
Let me offer you a seat.
I don't know. I wanted to hopefully try and get you to laugh.
I was low-key thinking of doing the same intro. But
this is how you know we're friends.
yes. With that being,
the best
this
episode.
should be a business major's best episode. Granted, this is like one of the best episodes to ever watch.
This is like, I think this is like the most famous Zack and Cody episode. I don't know anyone that doesn't like this episode.
Exactly. However, as the master of business,
Mister.
I just want to say, for those of you who are not watching the podcast right now, Nova is like curled up in a sweet little ball, our cat, me and Sean's cat. And I'm trying very, very hard not to disturb his peaceful.
I accidentally tossed a pillow on him.
Yes. So if I'm quieter this episode, it's because I'm trying not to scare the baby cat. He's not a baby. He's like 5, but like he will ever be a baby in my heart.
Yeah, it's true. Anyways,
being the master of business in business, it's exhausting. This is just one of the ways to market a business. And they chose film in this way to make an advertisement. And there's a lot more than just that into a business. But man, I'm tired.
I'm going to poke your business, Brandon. I know you're tired, so this is the perfect time for this, because maybe you won't go so down the rabbit hole.
Oh, no, I might go even more down the rabbit hole, because today I was looking at how political Washington fraud more specifically.
But in regards to this episode, I know
he has such big eyes.
The bulk of this episode is spent watching 3 run-throughs, essentially, of this one commercial, mainly. And it's a really fun commercial. We can all agree on this.
Welcome to the Tipton, where everything is neat.
Listen.
Why do you not see more commercials like this?
Because if I heard this commercial more than 3 times in one day, I would check my radio out the window.
But this is... Okay. Oh, God, we're getting me down the rabbit hole.
Yes, I am.
Well, this goes into some of the other podcasts and political things that I was looking into this morning. But essentially, we have curated a whole bunch of money into research. We have a lot of scientists who look into the human brain and the psychology of a brain for our attention span. And we have created a society that needs constant stimulation like every 10 seconds. So we don't have commercials like these anymore because no one cares about them.
But here's my problem. Outside of phones and social media advertising, I'm talking live TV advertising where this would be seen, you do see other commercials just as long, if not a little bit longer, than this one really quick song. But they're more boring.
Because they know you're on your phone.
I'm not.
Okay. Like, I'm thinking Nintendo commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm thinking Nintendo commercials. And so I'm just imagining.
Advertisement is just one section of the business. And they strictly create a advertisement based off of its strategic research. So if they have a goal to reach a specific target market, that is where the money of the advertisement is going. And so they are going to put money into research that is going to pull in the highest amount of views from a specific amount of people with the given amount of information all across the internet to give you.
But you're not
curated.
But you're not hitting my question.
Advertisement.
I'm not hitting on phone advertisements.
This isn't even just phone advertisement. This is just
back day, Jonelle, before phones had screens.
Yes, but this is far much more than just phone advertisement. This is advertisement in general.
I'm trying to point as to why we don't just see TV commercials like this
I
at
think
all.
part of the reason that we don't have commercials like that is I once had a teacher who would throw out a name for like a fast food restaurant and then would have us or like an establishment and then have us say whatever like their catchline is. So like McDonald's is,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
Arby's is,
Arby's.
We have the meats.
if you were to throw the Tipton in there, what is it?
Welcome to the Tipton.
But everything is neat. And then it would go on for like 5 seconds.
Well,
And so you have to make it simple and quick for someone to be like, oh yeah, I'm loving it. Is like the
Or
longest.
Red Robin.
Yum.
Yum.
to have the tag,
And that's why we don't have like that sort of.
I'm just saying we have too much years of evidence and research now on what catches the human attention span.
The other thing is when it comes to like advertisement and marketing is you have to come up with some pretty creative things to make it stick inside your brain.
mm-hmm.
Like my favorite commercial as a kid was one for Red Robin. And it was a bunch of kids playing hide and seek. And this one kid was super, super lazy and went, Red Robin. And a bunch of kids would pop their heads out going, yum, yum, yum. And then this one kid would go, hey, that's not fair. Because the kid found everyone without having to move a spot. And my siblings and I would quote that all the time because we thought it was brilliant because it related back to a game that we were playing at the time. But like, I think the last commercial that like really stuck with me was because for a minute I was like, maybe I want to go into marketing. And we saw the Wicked movie, and there was a commercial with Jeff Goldblum who played the wizard, who like had this car, and there was this little kid being like, Dad, can you make it magical? And like how Jeff Goldblum would just like become magical like the Wizard of Oz by like doing all the things that whatever he was selling was trying to do. I think it was a car
It was a house.
or a house. But I was like, oh, that's pretty clever because if you watch The Wizard, I did the same thing. But like the Tipton commercial is very creative and very like authentic. If every commercial tried to be that commercial, it would get so oversaturated and overdone. Like, could you imagine if every single advertisement was a musical?
You're not wrong. I guess for me, I'm going to relate this to. This episode is not released yet, but we recorded an episode on Raya and the Last Dragon, which will be releasing in a few weeks. So make sure you check it out. But we talked about like creators and viewership and stuff, and a part of getting views, it's also the watch time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, small, really quick 10-second videos are important in advertising on the internet. But along with that, if we were to see any business that comes out with that were to come out with a commercial like this, that song is catchy and you do want to watch it all the way through. If I were to see that video pop up on my phone, I'm sorry, I'm watching the whole thing through because it's fun.
I mean, there was one, but then it's not a musical, but they took it down because they made an internal decision that they did an oopsie and a certain bus, whoopsie-doo, hit a bridge.
Which one? There was two.
Either way, there was an STA commercial where the bus made it under a 14-foot bridge, and then in real life, it went under a 12-foot bridge, and this was a change in routing decision.
Actually, there was an error in the navigation because that route does not go through that tunnel.
What these two wonderful people. I was going to say bozos, but that was
You
me.
can call us bozos.
What these two bozos are talking about was we have this transit system in our hometown, well, in our city, that
They bought double-decker buses.
which is super cool, but there's this small problem.
There's a railway viaduct that goes right through the middle of downtown.
And there's only one exit that these double-decker buses can safely fit under. And due to some navigation issues, two, not one, but two.
One SEA bus and then one moving truck.
Got stuck under a bridge in the same week. And that's like that's the town gossip right now, is like, oh my gosh, these two buses got stuck under like the same place.
Yeah.
But like the original advertisement for the STA bus, gold.
You know what is like gold? That is like a song that was an ad, not like it was really great in marketing.
The Pillow Pets song?
It's a pillow. It's a pet. It's a pillow pet.
I didn't know I had a song.
Pillow
Oh,
pet.
there was also the Stuffies commercial.
There was also the Bendaroos.
Did you ever see the stuff? You know the Stuffies commercial? How much stuff can you stuff in a stuffy till your stuffy stuffed enough stuff?
I was thinking of Dumb Ways to Die.
That too.
Ways to Die. So if you don't know,
So many
this
dumb
internet
ways
classic
to
song,
die.
it's from Metro,
Ways
Yeah.
to
and it's a message about trains.
die.
And so there's this song about many dumb ways to die, like poking a grizzly bear. And then the end of the song is like, yeah, like stepping in front of a railroad crossing.
Yeah.
And so it was a song by Metro.
To like stay safe around trains.
And
You know, it was a game on a phone.
That's where it came from.
Two games, and I think
there's
that's
I
brilliant.
think there's more than two now.
It's very fun. I remember me and my friend, we had our iPods at the time, and it was one of the first games that we downloaded on our iPod, and it had not only the music video for Dumb Ways to Die on the app, but you got to play the game.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
My brain had a small epiphany moment because I realized my own like answer to my own question, because I thought back to like when this episode released, which was still early 2000s, but I think about all the main commercials that I remember, and they're all their jingles of but there's full songs like the JG Wentworth 877 cash now, or the $5
$5, $5
for the song.
any.
like they had like a full song in commercials and stuff that always stuck with people, but you just don't see it anymore.
Yeah, that's because it over happened. People got bored, and then we continued to adapt to new technology at such a fast pace that we have now adapted and evolved to the society it is today, which is curated trash.
And AI generated content.
Trash. Oh, God.
I don't know how much more to talk about, because like in this episode, like you have the audition section.
Okay, hold on. We can talk about something.
We can talk about Carrie's date.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Because we both know, actually, we all know in this room that I'm the person who has had the most awkward date situations like Carrie.
Have you ever climbed out a bathroom window?
No, but I did. Like, I definitely have gone, because I normally like to have my first dates in public if I can.
As you should.
And I took a guy out on a date to one of the bars I normally go to, and yeah, homeboy, the conversation was just creepy as fuck. So I tried to go into the bathroom and hide for as long as I can, hoping he would just leave. No.
Did he pop up in the bathroom?
No, but he definitely just stood out the door the entire time waiting for me.
Oh, that's you. That's creepier.
Yeah. So I just went over and pretended to order a drink. Got him kicked out.
That's
Nice.
awkward. I was going to talk about how I thought this episode would have a whole different ending.
Oh yeah.
So, for those of you who haven't watched the pod for a long time, you might not know this lore about me. but
Lore.
it's really depressing lore. At some point in time in like middle school, my parents basically cut off TV for me.
She's never seen Zack and Cody.
Nope. I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there, but like
This is the first, like, these are the most Zack and Cody episodes she's actually seen, and we're
Yep.
just about done with the
The
whole
first season.
yeah, yep. Mhm.
Which I'm pretty sure me and Sean are so thankful about.
But anyway, continue, Megan.
Woo. So, okay, in my head, so like the first runaround is with like London, right? And everyone's like, London sucks at singing and dancing. And I was like, true. And they make a comment like, oh, we're just going to dub over her. So in my head, I was like, okay, so what is going to happen? And I was like convinced this was going to happen, right? I was like, okay, so Carrie has a wonderful singing voice. And so does Ashley Tisdale, aka Maddie. And I was like, I was convinced that they were going to dub it over with one of their voices. And that didn't end up happening. And I was so confused because I was like, no. I swear this is how the commercial ended, where London looked okay and basically rode off the backs of someone who was like ultimately better than her, but because she's rich and powerful, she got it. So I was explaining this to Sean, and he was like, hold on, let's watch the High School Musical episode. And I was like,
From season 3.
and I was like, bro, why? And then it turns out, nope, I just had this whole, I blended the 2 episodes in my head. So like in my head, I was like, oh yeah, the commercial episode is the one where Maddie sings for London. No, that's the High School Musical episode. And I think it's hilarious that Ashley Tisdale is just like, Maddie is just like, oh my gosh, people tell me I look just like Sharpay, and everyone's like, I don't see it. I'm like, no, that's my girl, Ashley Tisdale. And then, what was the comment you made about Candace?
Oh, so this is sidebarring a little bit, but because yesterday was the High School Musical 20th anniversary date, we watched High School Musical, and Ashley Tisdale, who plays Sharpay, is like trying so hard against, like, fighting against Troy and Gabriella. I looked at Megan and I was like, look, she's already practicing for her role as Candace. She's trying to bust Troy and Gabriella. Anywho, you will see some High School Musical episodes later this year. Just saying.
Man, I'm just purely encompassing the cat's vibe right now.
The cat's vibe is such a mood.
I want to curl my finger toe beans in 2 and just close my eyes and sleep.
I wish we could have known more about what went wrong with Carrie's date. Like,
I
why,
know.
like, why she wanted to go to the bathroom.
I mean, probably because he's controlling AF.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen.
Not just controlling, but like rude.
Yeah.
Listen. I get when you're shooting for like anything. Like you are looking for very special like talents in mind, right? So we're like talking commercials. So we need someone who we saw the script. Basically, they need to sing, they need to dance, they need to like act in front of the camera. So like Erwin spinning discs is not going to help them. There was Esteban and his chicken. The chicken is tiny. Probably won't do well in like the commercials. But he didn't have to be super rude about it. I can imagine he reminds me of like the one guy we both like, the guy from college who is just like, I know everything. I am the best.
Gruyere cheese.
Gruyere cheese. Like, I am a pompous film student, and this will be my best.
See, you're pulling out my music majorness, my musicianness, because you'll hear me out on this and maybe understand a little bit. Because the audition is the job interview of the business world, of the music world.
Yes.
An audition is harder than a job interview.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hear me out on why I say this, because I feel like I think you'll understand it when I say it. With job interviews, like, you can more or less anticipate the types of questions you're going to be asked. You can control your appearance generally and like how like that interpersonal connection works. with a audition, because it's a performance, if there's even a detail of the performance that the person that you're auditioning for doesn't like, that automatically counts against you. Because I think about Maddie's audition. There was just a spotlight, and he's like, nope, I hate spotlights.
Poor Maddie.
I mean, I have recently been on the other side of an interview inside a business interview. And I can say the reasons why we got rid of people sounded completely, people think, wow, that's so dumb. But simply, it's because they did not fit the culture.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense.
Or they did not fit the educational background when we had given them a test. Because when you're doing office administration work, there are specific tasks that we need to get done. Like, there's a reason why we're hiring, and it needs to get done. And we just want to make sure that we can mold you into what you want. Most of the time, we don't care about who does the job, but it's more about the person getting along with the team.
That makes sense. Yeah. With auditions, it's just that much harder because you basically have to practice or make sure every piece of your like performance is going to go well or be received well in terms of like pure abilities.
See, and this is where I can see the director just essentially sitting there and just saying, is this musician going to be able to understand my conducting correctly? Or am I going to have to sit there and keep reiterating the same shit that I do not have time to do because I am the conductor and we have a timeline? So they're going to interview a lot of people and they're going to put them through a lot of weird things, but they're looking for very specific things because they're putting you under pressure, a very specific task that you don't know what they are. And you think it is one thing, but it's actually not.
Then what is your perspective on The Grudge? And him basically going as far as
He had a vision in his head.
holding the grudge against Carrie
No.
while also giving in to the blackmail that London had.
He should have absolutely not done what he did to Carrie. But with London, sadly, this is how business runs. Whoever has the money gets the business done.
Or whoever screams the loudest.
Because money is what moves. Money is a tool for motivation.
Oh, I know it is. This is just how bargaining our union contract works.
Yes. We're not in a society anymore where money is a later bargaining chip. It is the first bargaining chip. Because when companies are looking at their employees, they're looking at specific tasks that they can eliminate. So they're looking at human positions that can be diminished and changed into something else. They need their employees to adapt with them.
But in this point of view of the commercial,
Can I bring up my favorite scene?
go right ahead.
So my favorite scene of the entire show is when Carrie and the boys are sitting, like eating, and Carrie still has her like suitcase on, and then one of the boys has to like dab her, like cheek, because she got something on it. And I just thought that was so funny. She's like, I have 3 legs.
Yeah, my legs do look fantastic.
And I was like, you go, girl.
Zach's whole thing about when he goes like, I've seen better. I'm like, boy, boy.
And they were airbrushed.
You don't say that to your mom.
I mean, I'm not going to make any comments considering I know what your brother calls your mother.
Hey, that's different. That's different. That's just that's a separate thing, hon. We're not bringing that onto this podcast.
I think it's so like humanizing because Carrie, like, this is her world, right? We're all just living in it. For this episode, she's like, nope, this is like my job. I am a professional singer. This is like what it's like to go to interviews. She walks down to the lobby and she's like, well, you're going to have to face like a lot of rejections before you get the one. And I think it was hilarious that like she's like, we're gonna have to stand in this line until you get to like the audition, and then everyone's like, actually the line is back there. And I was like, that also makes sense.
I do have to say what I find really funny, and I said this to you yesterday, was like how you can remind me what I was connecting it to, but like at the end where they're like, where Zach's like, "You're right, Mom. Showbiz is a dog eat dog world, but we hoped, we persevered, and like dream and like hoped for the failure of others." And I'm like,
Oh, he was talking about this medical show he was watching. Where
oh yeah, we're not gonna get into that part.
Yeah, no.
But
Did-
no. But I just found that so funny of like, yep, that sums it up. You're hoping for others to fail so you can get better. That's the life of a performer.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say something, and now I'm losing my train of thought.
I don't know. With massive layoffs right now, that's what it's like for the entire market.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna ask. Let's just assume all three of us work at the Tipton.
Mm-hmm.
What would how?
I'm Mosby.
I was gonna ask, what would you do for your audition?
Secretly hate it and then be the star.
Oh, honestly, if we're doing that, then I'd be the chicken.
Okay, I love that scene though before Carrie goes to confront him and he goes, "It's step, cluck, cluck, step, not cluck, step, step, cluck."
He's doing his best. I'm sorry.
And then Esteban's whole thing about like, yeah, but you're eating a chicken fajita. That could be his brother, man. That was comedy gold.
Every time with Esteban, whenever he talks, I'm like, oh, I actually really enjoy what he's saying.
Well, and the fact that as a director, he was like 100% tolerating the chicken and like, yeah, the chicken's gonna be in the commercial. I don't see any issue with this. What's wrong with the chicken?
And then he becomes the issue.
This shows he has better animal socialization than human socialization.
It's true.
Okay, but even Mosby, like when he trips on the chicken, he goes, "No, he meant it. That was foul play." And to see that he's like, I think was the star after Mosby, given like the director's like focusing on him. Like I'm like, dude, that chicken did have a plan. Mosby got one up by a chicken. Talk about being a chicken. But anyways, no.
Your audition. What would
My
you do?
audition. I mean, it's kind of obvious. I'd have to go down the route of my saxophone.
Yeah.
I'd have to. I couldn't not do it. I mean, I probably could do something dance-wise because of like my history with Winter Guard and knowing some like basic dancing stuff. But I don't know. Like that'd basically be it. I would not want to do a song except for maybe Evermore. I could do Evermore. What would you do?
I have really bad stage fright, so I'd ask Mosby if I could skip. No,
Ooh, you could be the Sandman or Father Time.
yeah. No,
From Santa Claus.
really bad stage fright.
Like Megan just blows sand on people and then they all fall asleep.
That would be
I was like confused, like what? Where are you going with this? I'm confused. What does Sandman have to do with a commercial?
Megan freezes time and leaves. Megan, there is no commercial. Time has stopped.
So I have to ask you,
Which you?
Jonelle.
Okay.
Sorry, this is a very much a me versus you episode because you'll hear me out on this. It's a performer versus business issue.
Okay.
Creativity versus business.
Why am I even here?
Both work out very well.
But there's always that tension.
You just got to do it.
Do it.
Well, because I'm thinking about what you said earlier about how like they're always trying to like reduce and like
Reuse, recycle.
no, but funny. But like how like they're like you need people to do the job or whatever, more efficient, less money.
You're going to hate something I studied this morning.
But like a part of the creative side is you can't necessarily Like, in your point of view,
Efficiencies are different than art.
but the balance of like creativity versus budget.
If you're given a budget and you have an idea that's outside of your means, you got to forfeit the money up for that. That is, like, you should not be handed out as much of the capital within the company to create that. You are given a specific budget quarterly, semi-annually, and annually that goes to pay all your employees, figure out how to create something new and something that aligns with your business goals. So, creating a business with, especially with Disney, and this is what really kind of upsets me, is I watched several different documentaries and several different interviews that were taken on with Disney employees recently. Disney didn't lay off their early workers. They did, but they laid off a lot of their older workers who are supposed to be retiring in the next few years. They are firing them because by the time someone, and a lot of people spend 40 to 50 years within a company before they retire, it's too expensive to keep them. To efficiently run a business at the market right now in today's standards, a business would only want like an employee to be there for about 10 years, roughly, is what I would say that is. But the employee wants to be with the company longer, but the company cannot sustain the money to keep their employees for 20, 30, 40, 50 years because the companies are not growing at an exponential rate of growth in order to pay for every single employee that stays within the company.
Why does that feel unethical? Because
it is unethical. Well, it isn't unethical. So,
because
what happened in the...
Well, let me, while you're thinking, just like...
No, I'm not thinking. I'm trying to hold back. That's the thing. I'm trying to hold back because all of these are related to political decisions that were decided 30 years ago that are the money that we pay into Social Security. All of a sudden, index funds went down and 401ks went up. 401ks are great for employers because they get the tax write-off and the employees have to pay out the taxes later. So the company does not pay for their employees. And they are essentially almost giving them free money. Like, it's easier for them to give $100 rather than pay all these fines and penalties or other things with pensions and other plans to make sure that their employee is actually taken care of in the long run, because it's more cost effective for a consumeristic society to try and keep an employee for long and little as possible. So essentially, every company has an optimization of about 80%. Once an employee has reached their 80% capacity, there's always this heap of the hill. The heap is the 80%. Once it starts going down, they want to get rid of you after that point because you're not going to be at peak performance anymore. You're going to go back and forth between these peak performances and not. But also, they have to keep giving you a raise. You're just expensive and you're a liability. It's easier to fire you and not give you a reason why other than we need to save money because they can replace you. Your job is so easily replaceable that if you've been in the company for so long and someone can already do your skill and they are brand new and cheap, that is an easy deal. And this is like where it was frustrating hearing these Disney interviews, is because these engineers who have been in the company for such a long time and they're just passionate about being engineers, they just like doing the job. Disney fired them because they make a substantial more than a engineer who's at the same level of them but is younger. So they fire them to replace them with the younger person because they won't retire.
See, this is where I have the question of, one, whether it's actually good business in the scope, in terms of like the Disney specific stuff, and the question on ethics, because where does the line then come of skill-wise, they may be cheaper and younger, but then you have the other piece of it, which is knowledge and experience.
This is where you just do what you love and you do it. You just do it, because we have reached a point where companies are going to replace us regardless of what we do. They know they can find many ways to outsource us, but no one knows us better than we know ourselves. And money is a tool. So you have to begin figuring out how to use, and by the way, anyone who's listening to this is not financial advice, so please don't. This is just me talking about financial advice, not advising you to do it. There are two different things. I want to point that out. I'm just talking about.
This is a very business heavy episode, given that it's a commercial.
Yes. Yes. In just today's society, and how a lot of our legislation has played out, has us in another ethical dilemma where we're going to enter a recession and we're going to make some hard decisions. But that is the beauty of capitalism, which is why our society thrives in it.
Capitalism has beauty?
Because it crashes and it comes back up.
True. Do you have any thoughts on? I can tell we almost lost you.
I was lost.
Well, with that,
yeah, there's not much more we can talk about.
We're tired. We've wrapped up for the day. I say business well done.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to talk about with this episode. It's very cut and dry. So.
And if
it was a great commercial, everyone, and if you like our intro, let us know. Or do we need to curate our message a little better for you?
If I got to make a full-on musical commercial where we're all singing and dancing, I will.
I want to go to bed though, guys. Good night.
bye.
Bye, friends.